Welcome to Talking Ball Clemson edition, as we had championship edition last week. So in this video, we're just gonna dive into pretty much what's going on at Clemson. Coaches leaving, people transferring, all that good stuff. People decommitting. But
first, what concerns me the most.
But first of all, I'd like to thank Cam Smith with the Just Jesus Radio
Thank
Network.
You, Cam.
Internet radio app for all your gospel preaching, gospel singing, all that good stuff. Our boy Dave is on there Saturday mornings at 8:30, so make sure you give him a listen. Also with the American Senior Benefits Insurance Company, all your insurance needs, whatever you may have, life insurance. I'm not sure if he does car insurance, stuff like that, but if you have any questions, just make sure you give him a call. He can help you out. All his info is in the description below.
Yes.
So, let's dive into this. Man, what a crazy past couple weeks to be a Clemson fan.
It's been insane. The only thing that hasn't been crazy, the only thing that's remained consistent is our head coach.
Yeah. And I think, me and John were talking about it the other day because, we're both big Clemson fans. And we both agree with this part. I think for the past 6 years, what we've agreed with is that we've took for granted being an elite football team.
100%.
I mean, elite. I don't know there, guys. Whoa. You won 2 national titles.
In 3 years, yeah.
But those 2 years were
Is that like a legitimate
I can't
argument?
tell if he's being serious.
Yeah,
No, you had a really strong run. A run that if you duplicated would have been considered
I believe
dynasty.
as long as
I didn't say we were dynasty. I said we were elite.
I was messing around.
Oh, see, that was what I was
What I'm
wondering.
saying is you had a great run.
Yeah, we had an elite
A
run.
dynamic run.
Yeah.
And a run that if you duplicated back to back would be a dynasty.
I agree.
Yeah, we didn't say dynasty though.
No, you had elite years. I was messing around.
Yeah. See, at first I thought he was messing.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
I mean,
I think he's about to be
six
a little
playoff
serious.
appearances in a row. I don't care what
4 national
I
championships.
don't care what conference you're
I
in.
believe if we beat Iowa State
I
this
care
year,
what
that would be
conference you're in.
like our 8th, 9th, 10th win season in a row.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty elite run.
But yeah, I mean, we all expected the Venables departure.
Well, really, to be honest with you, as a Clemson fan, the losing of Brent Venables obviously sucks, but like you said, it's expected. The losing of Tony Elliott, again, sure. I mean, maybe it sucks, maybe it don't. Actually, it might be a good thing, really. But it's kind of expected. You know both those are going to end up being a head coach at some point. Even some of the transfer transfer portal guys that are coming out, the Frank Ladds and the Joe. Some of these people are somewhat expected, and that's not discouraging to me. What is discouraging me and what scares me and has me a bit fearful as a Clemson fan is the decommits.
Yeah.
The Jahad Campbell, the Dalen Everett, the Keon Sabb, 3, 4, 5 stars, depending on what site you're looking at. 3 of our top recruits, really outside of Cade Klubnik, decommitting from the program. That is what has me raising the red flag of this could be bad.
Right.
Or the white flag.
Right. And like we were talking to somebody the other day, as far as next year, I think we'll be all right. And I don't think the decommits, of course, hurt us in the next year or so. But it's following after that.
Right. Our buddy Landon was like, y'all are going 6-6 next year. And, I mean, you got to realize we pretty much get our entire offense back, which granted our offense wasn't good, but needless to say, we get our entire offense back with a lot of young pieces at wide receiver, running back, O-line, and we get the majority of our defense back. Now we lose key pieces in defense.
Such as Skowski and Turner.
And Andrew Booth and Spector. We lose some key pieces on the defense, but we still get a ton.
We get our whole, as far as I know, we get our whole defensive line back.
Maybe it wouldn't surprise me if Xavier Thomas went and declared for the draft.
Especially how he ended the season, yeah.
KJ Henry, I don't really know. But, we're getting Breezy back. We're getting Miles Murphy back. We're getting Tyler Davis
Trey
back.
Williams.
I thought it was Brzee.
However you pronounce
Brian Breezy, whatever.
I'm
either
a Clemson
way.
fan, I don't even know.
Yeah. I can pronounce Uyongagale, but I don't know if it's Breezy or
I don't. Same here.
Or whatever. But I mean, like you said, that's what worries me the most is the decommits, and we expected that to come. Especially with a guy like Brent Venables leaves.
Well, see, I don't even know if I fully expected it. It didn't necessarily. I'm not gonna say it shocked me. But me and my dad were talking about it when Brent Venables first took the job, and he was like, "Do you think there's gonna be a bunch of decommits like you've seen with Oklahoma?"
Yeah.
And I was like, if it was Dabo leaving, probably. I was like, we might have 1 or 2, and I mean, granted, we've only had 3, but I guess the magnitude it'd been different if a 3-star is decommitting, but the how highly touted these recruits are that are decommitting.
And
It's been so
I think
discouraging.
that speaks so much of the volume and the character of Brent Venables.
No, absolutely.
That these players, I mean, they were that invested in coming because of Venables,
Right.
not because of the Clemson program necessarily, but they wanted to coach. They wanted to be coached by Venables on defense.
And I think they're. Go ahead, David.
No, you're good.
And I think there's truth to that. Don't get me wrong, but I also don't think that it is totally impossible that the product that we put on the field this year plays into that as well. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we know how Dabo is with recruits, and I understand why he is the way he is. I really do. A lot of people don't like it. You know, it depends on who you talk to.
Right.
But Keon Sabb, before he decommitted, already committed to Clemson. He visited Michigan for the Michigan-Ohio State game, and Dabo's not a big fan of that. I think Keon Sabb was on his way out before Brent Venables took the job. And it wouldn't surprise me if Jahad Campbell and Dalen Everett were somewhat on their way out as well. I'm not saying that they do decommit if Brent Venables is still the defensive coordinator. That's not at all what I'm saying, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were somewhat on the way out regardless.
Yeah.
I will say this. I was hearing Sabb and Everett rumors before Brent, and they're a package deal.
Yeah. And you got to think all three of them guys are on the same team in high school. They're all
the IMG,
The IMG crowd all times runs together. Yeah. Georgia pulls a lot from IMG. As far as rumors and all that, what is Clemson looking at potentially losing the transfers? Is there any talk, anybody, or is there anybody you're worried about? I know Trent Simpson there for a little while.
Yeah, Trenton Simpson scared me the day of the fire, or not the firing, of Brent Venables leaving. He deleted pretty much everything off of Instagram. At least that's what I follow him on. He took out Clemson football linebacker out of his bio, and I was like, oh, this is not
Has he
good.
put all that back up?
Yeah, everything's back. It says Clemson football back in his bio, so I'm hoping he's good, and I think he will because he was a big Clemson guy.
Yeah, that would have shocked me if he'd have left. He wasn't a Brent Venables fan. He was a Clemson fan.
But obviously something he wasn't too happy about there, right? I mean, and absolutely, and I can understand that. But at least confirm that I know of. There's probably a lot more, maybe smaller guys that aren't as big time. Obviously, you got Tyson, but that was more than expected, especially with Cade coming in.
Right.
As we said, Frank Ladson and Joe, and some of those I'm not going to say are necessarily expected. Those two. But
I expected more Joe. Especially with the commit with the 4-star that just committed the other day.
And man, like I said, not shocked, but I also didn't necessarily expect it either. Really, with either one of those guys. Now, Frank Ladson's been a lot like Joseph Ngata. He hasn't been healthy. He hasn't really been able to live up to his potential. So I can see why he, maybe wants to get a fresh start for some sort of a reason. But I mean, obviously, let's be honest. Our best wide receiver this year, in my opinion, down in and down out, was Bo Collins.
Yep,
who's a true freshman this year.
Yeah.
He seemed to give the most effort. He seemed to be the most consistent route runner. He was available.
Dakari Collins played good in the snaps that he got to play.
Absolutely, I was about to say, and Dakari Collins also a true freshman. Obviously, you got E.J. Williams, who I'm hoping he's going to stay. Which I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming he is. He was extremely talented. He played hurt a lot this year. He had a broken thumb, I believe it was, or torn ligament or something along those lines. So I understand Frank Ladson and Joe probably weren't necessarily going to start, but they were going to be key depth for us, and that does hurt us because our depth is going to be thinned out that much more.
Yeah, I'll be really eager to see who Dabo hires in these key positions, because it's not like we're losing an offensive line coach or something like that. I mean, these are two main besides your head coach, your two biggest positions on the team. And I'll be eager to see if Dabo promotes within or if he goes out and gets somebody. And in my own personal opinion, I would like to see him go out and get somebody.
On both sides of the ball, or just
me offensively?
At least offensively.
If I was a Clemson fan, I'd want new blood on offense, and I'd probably promote within the closest thing to Venables.
Yeah. See, this has kind of been my mindset on it. Clemson needs some fresh people in there. It's great to promote within, and maybe I'm looking at this wrong, and this could be the total opposite. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like if Dabo was going to go out and hire somebody, he'd have done it by now. Because it's been obviously just I guess a couple days with Tony Elliott, maybe a week and a half now with Brent Venables.
Right.
But typically when you're hiring from outside, it seems to me, just looking at it, you typically get them as fast as you can so nobody else can get them.
Right.
So that makes me think that we're probably going to promote within.
Right. And I've heard this. That we're still in talks with Joe Brady.
Okay. I didn't even know we were in talks.
Yeah, as our offensive coordinator. I've heard it's up between us and
Miami.
Miami, yeah.
Dude, I'd be all in on Brady.
Yeah, I mean, and we didn't even talk about losing our AD. We just lost our
Right.
AD as well.
Which I mean,
to Miami.
Honest to goodness, that's probably a big deal, but I don't really know how much that impacts.
Right, and I've heard
really.
I heard from a very reliable source, a guy that actually does a lot with the Clemson program. Y'all know who he is. That does a lot with very close with Dabo.
Eric.
Eric. But he said if there was no other position that we upgraded with this whole coaches moving, that we definitely upgraded with Greg Neff, I think is his name.
I'm not sure.
Younger guy.
Yeah, he looks like he's 15.
Younger guy got new visions. I mean, they said that he's top notch.
Yeah.
As an AD, so we definitely upgraded there.
Kind of as I alluded to earlier, the coaching, them leaving Tony Elliott and Brent Venables again, I'm not thrilled about it, but it didn't shock me. And I'm trusting in Dabo that he's gonna make the right hires. When it comes to the transfer thing again, didn't totally shock me. The decommits is what worries me the most because, as our friend Landon was saying, I think I might have already said this, but that we're gonna go 6-6 this year. I don't really see that happening in the next 2 years, but what could come back to bite us is the decommits and the transfers coming together because, I mean, that's going to hurt. We already historically signed smaller classes.
Right.
Compared to a lot of other schools. We're a developmental program, and Dabo, he said he's not against the transfer portal, but he's one of the only people to not use the transfer portal.
I was just about to say
he's going to have to.
Yeah.
I mean, he's absolutely going to have to. And I'll be real honest with you, had he used the transfer portal coming into this year, and I know quarterback position was really our biggest weakness, and I'm not going to fault him there whatsoever.
Right.
But we could have used an Arian Smith kind of build at wide receiver.
Right.
Why didn't we try and get Jamison Williams that Alabama went and got? There was a lot of other wide receivers that Michigan State went and picked up. Why didn't we try and get that? Because all we had was 6'4", 220 guys. We had nobody that could truly take the top off the defense, and Dabo's yet to use the transfer portal. And that's the way college football's moving.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like every day people are just leaving to leave.
Stay tuned for our video on that this week.
That they're just leaving to leave at this point.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dabo's got to utilize
and
that.
I'll be really eager to see, because we play in
coming up
2.5 weeks.
Just checked his watch.
I was looking at the
we play in about.
I was looking at the date.
I know I'm messing around.
So I'll be really eager to see how we come out and play.
Yeah, I will too.
Because up until now, we've not named a defensive coordinator.
No.
We've not named an offensive coordinator. So I mean, what are these guys doing in practice?
Right.
Who's calling plays?
Right. Which I mean, we've seen us without Tony Elliott before last year in the playoff game where Dabo and Brandon Streeter called the play. So we kind of know what that's like. We don't know what it's like without a defensive coordinator.
Right.
And going back to the hiring, what he's going to do. Like I said, I would love, especially on the offensive side of the ball, to kind of get some new blood in there, maybe to hire from the outside. And I think it would be great if we have somebody that Dabo really thinks can be, it don't have to be just like Brent Venables, but to promote within, because we already have a great defense. But, I mean, there's no telling. Just because you promote within and Dabo says, man, this guy's the next guy, ain't necessarily translating.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be nice to have some coordinator experience, somebody from the outside.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
Well, here's the bottom line. You cannot upgrade on defense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
You may have upgraded your AD. You can't upgrade your defensive coordinator.
No, 100%.
Brent Venables is the best in the business.
Yeah.
The only way you could somehow come close to that is probably Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
And even Kirby doesn't bring the energy that Brent Venables does on defense.
Well, Kirby Smart's the baddest man in America, but offensively there is a lot of room.
Yeah, no, I agree with that entirely. I couldn't agree with that statement more.
Oh yeah,
an upgrade. I would if I'm Clemson, I definitely would want to go out and find somebody new.
See, and I agree entirely.
If we could somehow pull Joe Brady, dude, that would be awesome.
And I don't know what your offensive issues were this year, but nobody on that staff could figure it out.
No, absolutely. That's why I think we need new blood. Like David said, whoever we hire at the defensive coordinator position, it's not going to be better than Venables.
Right.
But there's a chance they could be better than Tony Elliott, and kind of what we've been doing. From what I'm hearing, we're going to promote Brandon Streeter. That's just kind of rumors. Again, I don't have
that's what I've heard.
I don't have any serious sources. That's more Tiger boards on TigerNet than it is really anything else. But I would be happy if we found out we hired Joe Brady. And I was extremely right when I heard the Carolina Panthers. I was like, man, we need to go after him if Tony Elliott leaves. But let's not forget we've got one great year with Joe Brady.
Yeah.
That we've really seen, and I mean,
that's true.
He had a historically great offensive pieces.
Fair.
I mean,
could have probably called plays.
I mean, legitimately out of this world offensive pieces, and he got fired from Carolina. But I'm not going to fault him for that. Who'd he have? He
Yeah.
had Sam Darnold that threw 4 interceptions. That's not
Washed
really
up Cam
coordinator's
Newton.
fault. A washed up Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey was hurt. But for me, at first I was like, yes, Joe Brady. But then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, I'm still a little bit. I'd like to see more. I would
Right.
have loved to have Joe Brady been the offensive coordinator for 4 or 5 years
Right.
at LSU. But if we hired him, I'd be excited and be more than hopeful and optimistic.
Yeah, for sure. So,
All right, well, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about Clemson. Is this the downfall of Clemson, or is Clemson going to be fine in the grand scheme of things?
yep. And
I'd
give
be
us
lying if I said I wasn't a bit fearful.
Yeah, give us your opinion on who if you were the AD and Dabo, who you'd go after. Let us know. So, but until next time, keep talking ball.